Okay, live once again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. Another going over of the stories from the week. And let's see. There goes my phone doing what it always does. Okay. So, first one in here tonight. First one in here tonight was Renz. Good for you, Renz. I'm sure you'll be getting ready to go to work soon. And right behind him came Ms. E. So glad you two are here. Don't see anybody else here as yet. And you can see my typing isn't up to snuff. So, see, I don't. Anybody else here? Just let me know. Okay, there's Eleanor. Okay, Eleanor is here. So we've got two Eleanors and the Brian. Okay. So we've got Renz, Miss E, Eleanor, and Brian. Glad to have you all here. And wow, everybody's showing up on time too. This is pretty cool. Don't know if any of the other guys will pop in tonight, but I'll be carrying the load so far. And I hope everybody's had a good week. I've had a pretty good week. And and there's Alan, phone tech at work. What's up, Alan? Glad you're here, brother. I see you got your Pixel 6. I think you got the Pixel 6 Pro, if I remember properly. I ordered mine, so hopefully I'll get mine on time. We'll see if I have to cancel it like I did the Z Flip and go buy it from Best Buy like I did before. Hopefully not. Yeah, I was listening to Steely Dan's Asia just before I got on the stream. And yeah, Steely Dan is awesome. I used to love to do their stuff when I was in the bands. I never played Asia, though, for some reason. It's kind of a complicated song. So, let me get started with the stories. And if Mike or Ted or Will or Mark pops in, I'll try to keep an eye out for them and let you guys know if they come in. And everybody saying hello to everybody. Okay. And let's see. Okay. All right. Let me get started with the stories. I'm guessing it'll be another short one like it was last week. If it's just me. Okay. Keith is in here. At least we've got one of the brothers from previous Vegas days in it. Glad to have you here, Keith. So just so everybody knows, I ordered my Pixel 6 Pro, and I'm hoping it shows up first week of November, I believe. I know, Alan, you're on the Pixel team, so it's not the Pixel team. What is it called? I can't remember. Oh, fart. Anyway, I know you got one sent to you, which is great. Still getting the hellos from everybody. Okay. So hopefully I will get mine first week in November, and I'm all excited about it. And I don't know what you guys thought of it, but that's going to be my first story. So we'll talk about it as we go. So let me pull it up. Oh, and I did try using the reader view again tonight, and it did kick me out right away. I did not get a chance to contact StreamYard or anybody else about it. So I just will have to deal with the commercials as they come along. So I'm going to share the screen. And okay. Oh, before I do that, let's stop the screen. Let me go back here. And just for anybody who doesn't know, Let's share my website screen. Okay, so you can find my website, which is where the show notes are. The show notes, of course, are also in the description, and they're on Facebook. But it's mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. Click on the first story. That's tonight's story. You can follow along there. You can see how it goes. So just wanted you guys to see that. Stop screen. Oh, and I also wanted to say, I've been meaning to say for 2 weeks now, I know when Will is on and he and I go at it hard, and we went at it hard last time, but I just wanted you all to know that I have nothing but the greatest respect and admiration for Will, and I've already told him that, but he knew it anyway. So just wanted all you guys to know, even though we go at it hard with each other, we do love each other, and didn't want you guys to get the wrong impression just because we go at each other really well. So now let's get to the first story, which is, of course, the Pixel 6. And this one was on, I took this one from Engadget. I hope you all watched the presentation. I thought it was awesome. Make it a little bigger. So here's everything announced at its Pixel 6 event. Here's everything Google announced at its Pixel 6 event. There's more to the company's latest phone than upgraded hardware. Yeah, I'm not going to play the video. Google may have announced the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro in August, but we had to wait more than 3 months to get the full story on its latest phones. On Tuesday, the company did just that, detailing nearly every aspect of their design and software. Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Unsurprisingly, Google spent a lot of time talking about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro's hardware. There's a lot to unpack between the two phones, but the most important thing you'll need to know about them is that they'll start at $600 and $900. And I think we were all surprised at the price, pleasantly surprised. I traded my Pixel 4a in, that was it. So I got a little bit knocked off. In the case of the Pixel 6, that means it's $100 cheaper than last year's Pixel 5. And let's see. Bad News Brown is in here. Hey, Gary. Glad to have you here, brother. So, of course, you know I had to start with the Pixel. I'm sure you'll like that. Okay. Headline features shared by both phones include Google's 8-core Tensor processor, a fresh new design, a rear camera array that includes a fixed 50-megapixel main sensor, and new security features courtesy of Android 12 and the company's Titan M2 chip. To that package, the Pixel 6 Pro adds a 6.7-inch waterfall display with a dynamic 120 Hz refresh rate, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and a 48-megapixel telephoto camera with 4 times optical zoom. I'm excited for this. With both phones, Google says you can expect more than 24 hours of usage on a single charge. We'll see. Both the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro are available for pre-order today. That was Tuesday, of course, with general availability to follow on October 28th. Okay, Pixel Pass. Alongside the new phones, Google will also Pixel Pass. The subscription includes a Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, an extended warranty, 200 gigabytes of Google One storage, Google Play Pass, YouTube Premium, and YouTube Music Premium. It also comes with a device upgrade after 2 years. If you want a Pixel 6, the pass costs $45 per month and increases to $55 per month with the 6 Pro. AI and other features. Of course, hardware was only part of the story on Tuesday, and Google had just as much, if not more, to say about the new software it's built for its latest phones. One such feature is Live Translate. I loved what I saw on Live Translate. I thought that was the most awesome part of the whole thing. With the help of its Tensor chip, the Pixel 6 can translate type as you text. It can do so almost instantaneously and without help from the cloud. Now, for anybody who didn't see the presentation, they had two ladies sitting together. I'm not sure. I think one was Korean and didn't speak English, and the other one was speaking English. And they were talking to the phone, and they would hand the other one the phone, and it would translate everything back instantly in their own language. And I thought that was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So that was pretty exciting. Google Tensor chip will also make Assistant more capable. Oh, and by the way, it does all that on the device, and no dealing with the cloud at all. So none of that is going up to the cloud when you're doing live translate. So Google's Tensor chip will also make Assistant more capable. If you need to contact the call center, it will generate an automated on-screen menu so you don't have to listen to the assistant on the other side. On the security front, the Pixel 6 comes with a new dashboard that provides an at-a-glance overview of any issues you may need to address. For instance, it will identify potentially harmful apps and prompt you to set a fingerprint or PIN to unlock your device. Looking to other software features, Snap is creating, Snap is Snapchat, a Pixel 6 first shortcut that affords quick access to Snapchat's camera mode. When taking photos, the Pixel 6 should also do a better job of capturing darker skin tones. Yeah, I thought their presentation on the skin tones was pretty awesome too. Thanks to a feature called Real Tone. Google worked with a variety of experts to fine-tune its camera algorithms to ensure its cameras work for everyone. So I thought the presentation was pretty awesome. I'm very excited. Alan, I guess you must love the thing. Let me see what Gary's saying. Let's stop the screen. Let's see. Yeah, Brian's asking if Gary ordered his Pixel 6 Pro yet. I think he's asking Gary. I ordered mine. Gary says, had to get the Pixel 6 256. Could not trade my 4XL. Okay. Plus that seafoam is fire. I got the black one because that's the only color they had left, but I figure I'm going to cover it with a case anyway, so it doesn't make much difference in my case. Let's see what else. Gary's asking what Pixel did everyone order, so of course I ordered the Pro. Brian, I guess, didn't order one. Yeah, Alan has his in hand, so he knows. He says it's pretty dope, so smooth. And Gary said I wanted the white Pro 256, but the site kept taking it, put out. I guess he meant out of his cart. Yeah, I couldn't get either one of the other colors. Okay, Brian is waiting for Black Friday. Smart man. Yeah, Alan is part of Team Pixel, but he pre-ordered the Seafoam 6. Okay. So, and Mrs. E is saying the same thing. I guess she's waiting for Black Friday also. Looks like a whole bunch of us are going to have the Pixel 6 Pro, I would think, or the Pixel 6. And Gary says, Team Seafoam. Well, I'm the outsider then here because I got the black one. Okay. So anyway, very exciting. I thought the presentation was great, and I was very happy about it. I have heard nothing but good things so far about it, but being as busy as I am, I work Thursdays and Fridays and Monday. And with my exercise and everything else on Wednesday, I haven't had much chance to watch many videos about it. But I will be watching it. Of course, I want to get my own impressions when I get it into my hands. So I figured I wanted to cover that first. Now, of course, we did cover last week that Apple had an event this past Monday. The Pixel 6 event was Tuesday, and Samsung's event was Wednesday. And I didn't even put up a story this week for the Samsung event because it was nice enough. I watched the whole thing, but I thought the it wasn't worth having an event. That was just my impression. And Anthony, my Project 13's in here, another member of Team Pixel. He's got his in hand too. I know that already. And I know you've put up some videos. Haven't had a chance to watch them yet, Anthony. But you and Alan are both in here, and I know you both got yours from Team Pixel. So glad to have you here, brother. And Gary saying, got the Buds A2. Okay, I didn't get the Buds. I am so in love with my Galaxy Buds Pro, which is what I have in my eyes. I use these like every day. Well, Alan says 28th in-store pickup. Okay, on the 28th. So I'm guessing you'll get yours before mine shows up being shipped, but we'll see. Gary saying Samsung, one of some of Google's shine. Yeah, and the event was a nice enough event, but as soon as it was over, I said to myself, well, what was the point of that? That to me, it was just colors and a special edition, but I just didn't think it was worth having an event, so I didn't even bother putting up a story for this week. And yeah, Anthony says it's okay, they ain't going anywhere. Yeah. Alan says, I just want to be like the OG, Anthony, my project. Okay. Exactly. Anthony, everybody loves you, including me. You just have that kind of personality. All right. So, of course, the other event that I had to go with next was the Apple event. So I'm just pulling up the story. I missed some of it because I think I was out. I was working Monday, but as soon as I got home, I watched the entire event from beginning to end. And it was cool. You know, I can't afford that stuff, but maybe you can. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So here's everything Apple announced at its Unleashed event this morning. This, of course, was written on Monday night. It's by Greg Kumperak. It's only been a few weeks since Apple's last big announcement event, but they're already at it again. The last one focused on iPhones and Apple Watches. This time around, they were all about new chips, new Airpods, and new MacBook Pros. Too busy to follow along live? Here's pretty much everything you need to know boiled down to just the bullet points. New AirPods, $179, as you can see, third generation. The base level, read non-pro, AirPods are getting an upgrade. A new look, spatial audio support, the Pro line's force sensor for controlling music and calls, and improved sweat water resistance. Apple says the battery life has been improved as well, bumping the promised runtime from 5 hours to 6 hours on a single charge. The third gen AirPods will ship for $179 beginning next week, so only a few days away if you ordered those. M1 Pro and M1 Max. Apple blew minds when it introduced its own absurdly fast chip with the M1 in 2020. Now they've gone and doubled down. Yeah, this is heavy duty. Introducing not one, but two new M1 chips, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. Apple says the M1 Pro CPU is up to 70% faster than the original M1. That's fast. With the GPU up to 2 times faster, 32 gigabytes of unified memory and 200 gigabytes of memory bandwidth. So I can see why they cost so much. The M1 Max, meanwhile, bumps the unified memory up to 64 gigabytes. Both M1 Pro and M1 Max support up to 10 CPU cores. On the GPU front, the Pro does up to 16 core, while the Max supports up to 32 cores. So they should be some pretty well-performing MacBooks. These things are going to be really, really fast. I would suspect so. New MacBook Pro. Looking to put those new chips to good use, Apple introduced a new generation of MacBook Pros. And in a rare backpedal from the company, some of the MacBook Pro's more contested recent changes are being undone. It'll come in two sizes, 16-inch or 14-inch. MagSafe is back. The touch bar is gone. It has ports, including an SD card slot and an HDMI port. I'm sure there are people who are happy about that. 120 hertz ProMotion support for smooth scrolling. In what will probably be the most argued about aspect of this model, it's got a camera notch. That's true. Yeah, there it is right there. That lets them squeeze in a bit more screen, but means, well, a notch. The camera has been upgraded to 1080p with Apple promising double performance in low light. The entire audio system has been overhauled. I bet you that sounds great. With large tweeters and woofers for improved audio fidelity. 14-inch model will start at $1999, so $2,000, while a 16-inch model will start at $2,500. So anybody who wants to buy me one, feel free. Other stuff. You'll now be able to ask Siri to play different themed playlists via Apple Music, like a playlist for relaxing, dinner parties, or hiking. Oh, yeah, I have a lot of dinner parties. Apple is introducing a new $5 a month voice plan for Apple Music. Basically, as we understand it, a cheaper plan for those willing to ditch the interface and use only Siri for queuing up songs. I hope it works right. HomePod Mini will now come in 3 new colors: dark blue, orange, and yellow. So this, and this are the new ones. So that was about it from Apple's. But they, as always, did a very smooth, very, very nice event. Personally, I thought the Pixel event was the better event, but I'm probably a little prejudiced in favor of Google. So that's just me. And of course, I still carry my 12 Pro every day, and I still carry my Z Flip 3 every day. So I always have an Android and an iPhone with me. So I'm not against iPhone, but I think a lot of us, I'm more pro Pixel than anything else. So it makes sense. Right now, I've got the 4A and the 5A sitting here next to me. 4A will be gone when I get the Pixel 6 Pro. So yes, like the rest of you guys, I love my Pixels. Let's see. Yeah, Gary says, we got to get Will to get a Pixel. Now, you know how Will can be, Gary. The last Pixel that he got, he didn't tell us till like, 2 or 3 days later, and then he shipped it back. So you never know what Will's going to do. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibility that, Will went ahead and ordered one and didn't tell anybody. But we'll see what happens. Let's see. Keith is saying, I want to say I saw where the UK got some Bose headphones instead of the Buds A with the Pixel 6. Yeah, Mike had mentioned to me when we were texting back and forth about the Buds being thrown in. I did not get that offer. I don't care because I've got 8 pairs of wireless earbuds sitting right here in front of me. But I didn't see any free offers for the Buds. Okay. I think everybody's embarrassing Anthony with our praise of him. Good. So those were as everybody knows, those were the 2 big stories of the week. So pardon me while I unparch my throat. Yes, I'm drinking 7-Up, so of course you can see right through my green bottle because my green screen is on behind me. So I think I came up with a couple of interesting stories this week. This one I hadn't heard about until I started looking around for stories this week. So I'm going to share the screen. Everybody's favorite social site. Facebook is planning to rebrand the company with a new name. Mark Zuckerberg wants to be known for building the Metaverse. And I think Mark would like to be king of the universe, is my guess. Facebook is planning to change. Oh, this is on The Verge, by the way. Facebook is planning to change its company name next week to reflect its focus on building the Metaverse, according to a source with direct knowledge of the matter. The coming name change, which CEO Mark Zuckerberg plans to talk about at the company's annual Connect conference on October 28th, but could unveil sooner, is meant to signal the tech giant's ambition, yeah, they've got plenty of that, to be known for more than social media and all the ills that entails. That's true. The rebrand would likely position the Blue Facebook app as one of many products under a parent company, overseeing groups like Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, and more. A spokesperson for Facebook declined to comment for this story. So I'm guessing nobody says nothing until Mark says so. Facebook already has more than 10,000 employees building consumer hardware like AR glasses that Zuckerberg believes will eventually be as ubiquitous as smartphones. So he thinks they're going to sell like smartphones. Okay. In July, he told The Verge that over the next several years, we will effectively transition from people seeing us as primarily being a social media company to being a metaverse company. A rebrand could also serve to further separate the futuristic work Zuckerberg is focused on from the intense scrutiny Facebook is currently under for the way its social platform operates today. A former employee turned whistleblower, Frances Hagen, I'm sick of hearing her name already, recently leaked a trove of damning internal documents to the Wall Street Journal and testified about them before Congress. Antitrust regulators in the U.S. and elsewhere are trying to break the company up, and public trust in how Facebook does business is failing. That's been happening for a very, very long time. Facebook isn't the first well-known tech company to change its company name as its ambitions expand. In 2015, Google reorganized entirely under a holding company called Alphabet, partly to signal that it was no longer just a search engine, but a sprawling conglomerate with companies making driverless cars and health tech. And Snapchat rebranded to Snap in 2016, the same year it started calling itself a camera company. Didn't know that. And debuted its first pair of spectacles, camera glasses. Yeah, everybody had those for a while. And yeah, I think Google will no longer be known as a search company, and I have a feeling that the Pixel 6 is going to make a big difference in their reputation, I hope. I'm told the new Facebook company name is a closely guarded secret within its walls and not known widely, even among its full senior leadership. A possible name could have something to do with Horizon, the name of the still unreleased VR version of Facebook meets Roblox that the company has been developing for the past few years. The name of the app was recently tweaked to Horizon Worlds, shortly after Facebook demoed a version for workplace collaboration called Horizon Workrooms. Aside from Zuckerberg's comments, Facebook has been steadily laying the groundwork for a greater focus on the next generation of technology. This past summer, it set up a dedicated Metaverse team. More recently, it announced that the head of AR and VR, Andrew Bosworth, will be promoted to Chief Technology Officer. And just a couple of days ago, Facebook announced plans to hire 10,000 more employees to work on the Metaverse in Europe. So I guess they're real serious about this. The Metaverse is going to be a big focus, and I think that this is just going to be a big part of the next chapter for the way that the internet evolves after the mobile internet. Zuckerberg told Verge's Casey Newton this summer. And I think it's going to be the next big chapter for our company to really doubling down in this area. Complicating matters is that while Facebook has been heavily promoting the idea of the metaverse in recent weeks, it's still not a concept that's widely understood. The term was coined originally by sci-fi novelist Neil Stephenson, I didn't know that, to describe a virtual world people escape to from a dystopian real world. Now it's being adopted by one of the world's largest and most controversial companies, and it will have to explain why its own virtual world is worth diving into. So I guess seems like we're right on the verge of a overall new branded name for Facebook. So we'll see how that goes. I just thought that was a pretty cool story because I hadn't heard of it before. I didn't know about you guys. See what you guys are saying in the comments. Oh, really, Miss E? Okay. As you can tell, Miss E is not a fan of Facebook. I think that's an understatement. Wow, Ren's got to work already. Good for you, Ren's. You got to work quick. But Ren's was the first one here, so he got on before he left home, and he's already at work. Good for him. She's calling him Ren's a pixel. And he says, Ren's a million. Oh, I like that, Ren's. That's cool. Ren's a million. Okay. Ren's a million. That sounds, it kind of flows off the tongue, at least to an old singer it does anyway. All right, so I just thought that was an interesting thing with their name change. It's funny how we all admire Facebook and Zuckerberg so much, isn't it? Who knows? Maybe he'll be the emperor soon. Who knows? I guess that will make us the Empire Strike. Oh, no, he'll be the Empire Strikes Back, and we'll be the. I've forgotten the name for the freedom fighters in Star Wars. And Red Dog's in here. Glad to have you here. And TJ's in here. TJ, Red Dog, glad to have you here, guys. Okay. Next thing I thought was kind of interesting. I do not have the beta version of Windows 11, but you want to see Android apps run on Android 11, all you have to do is join Windows Insider, and I guess you can see it. But this, once again, is on The Verge. And this says a first look at Microsoft's new Windows 11 Android app support. Now, I have Windows 11 on my laptop, and it runs great, and it's pretty good, I think. But I don't have the beta, so Android apps can now run on Windows 11. And if any of you are wondering why I don't use Reader View and get rid of some of these commercials, the last 3 weeks, all of a sudden, whenever I put on Reader View, when I'm inside of StreamYard, it kicks me out and I have to come back in. So I tried it tonight before I got on, and that's still happening. Hopefully this week I'll get a chance to talk to StreamYard or somebody about it. So just have to deal with the ads as they're popping along. So Microsoft has released the first preview version of its Android apps support on Windows 11. It's available to testers in a beta channel version of Windows 11, which means you'll need to opt into the Windows Insider program to get access. And I just left the Windows Insider program about 7 or 8 months ago. I don't even remember why. I've installed the preview version on 2 systems, a gaming rig with Core i9 11900K and Microsoft's Surface Pro X to get a feel for exactly how well Android apps run on Windows 11. They did it on 2 different types of laptop, which is good. The experience of installing apps is very simple. Microsoft has partnered with Amazon. I just think it's strange that they use Amazon and not the Google Store. But in any case, Microsoft has partnered with Amazon, so the Microsoft Store will list apps but send you over to Amazon's App Store to get them installed or updated. This also installs a Windows subsystem for Android in the background, which is the core technology that powers Android apps running on Windows 11. So I guess it's like having a separate little chip just for that. Apps effectively run on a virtual machine contained within their own world, but able to sit side by side with under Windows apps. Sounds like they did a pretty good job with this. You can pin Android apps to the start menu or taskbar and use all of the windowing and multitasking features of Windows 11, just like a regular desktop app. That's pretty good, I think. While there are only 50 apps officially available in this preview, I was able to install Amazon's Kindle app, the BBC Sounds app, and a bunch of games to test just how well Windows 11 handles mobile games. On both the Surface Pro and Homepod device and my Intel-powered gaming rig, apps ran surprisingly well. I was able to run them alongside Word, Chrome, and other desktop apps as if they were just regular Windows apps. That's good to know. Apps show up in search results as if they were regular Windows ones, and the integration into the start menu and taskbar makes them feel just like any other app. It's surprisingly seamless and a well-integrated solution. Sounds like they did a great job. The preview, okay, here comes the other part. The preview isn't perfect, though. I noticed 100% CPU utilization. That's not good. When I attempted to get 4 Android games running side by side using Windows 11's Snap Layouts feature on my gaming PC, everything suddenly felt laggy until seconds later it sprung back to life and the CPU usage went back to normal. Now that's bad, but I don't think many of us are going to be trying to run 4 Android games at one time, but just my guess. Likewise, games don't seem to run very well on the Surface Pro 10 with low frame rates and stuttering. This is a preview, though, so I hope to see performance improve before this ships to all Windows 11 users. It'll be interesting to see when it shows up here. I've also noticed in Final Fantasy 15 that the game reloads when you attempt to resize it. That's not good. And some apps and games don't resize particularly well. It all depends on how developers have built their apps, but expect most to run best in phone-like dimensions. Yeah, if the developers haven't caught up with it, that makes sense. The question is whether you actually want or need Android apps. I personally only need a handful like the Kindle app or some smart home apps, but it's the Android mobile games that are more interesting to me, probably to everybody too. BlueStacks has to put Android apps on Windows feeds. I never liked the way BlueStacks ran on Windows, but that's just me. And I haven't tried it for 4 years at least. And the company has leaned heavily into supporting mobile games for Windows. Microsoft is late to the party here, but its subsystem is clearly the result of years of work to extend Windows to running Linux kernels in GUI apps, GUI apps. While Microsoft is busy getting Android apps on Windows 11 working, BlueStacks is now in the process of bringing Android apps into the browser and running them in a cloud. I wonder how that might be pretty good, I guess. Microsoft's Android app support relies on the Amazon App Store for now, which I find very strange, which only has a fraction of the apps available on Google's Play Store. It's inevitable that someone will sideload this onto Windows 11 and unlock many more apps with it, but Microsoft won't officially be supporting this, you think? Still, the initial preview is a lot more complete and smooth on the right hardware than I expected. Microsoft's initial release of the beta channel of Windows Insider also suggests this might appear for everyone using Windows 11 a lot sooner than we expected. Well, when it does show up for my Windows 11, I'll certainly try something to let you guys know how it runs for me. I'm not much of a gamer, but I guess I'll try it then. Anyway, sounds like they might have done a pretty good job with that. So I just thought it was interesting. Let's see. Looking at the comments again. Missy, when I was talking about Star Wars, Missy said Zuckerberg Sith. Yes, the Sith Lord, if there ever was one. Renz likes the name Renz a million. Credits to Missy. Okay. You've got a name now, Renz. It's going to stick, I think. About the Facebook, about the face medical is something else. Too much. Of course, Renz is mentioning coffee. We all know that, Renz. Actually, so do I, for that matter. Miss E agrees with you. She's saying that Android integration looks promising if they can work out the lag issues. Yeah, and it sounds like the lag issues are only there when you're running multiple games at once. So it sounds pretty promising to me. Yo, Serrano's in here. What's up, Serrano? Glad to have you here, brother. So anyway, just thought it was interesting that they got Windows, Android apps running on the Windows 11 beta, and hopefully it'll show up here soon. And there's some of your fans, Serrano. Renz is there. In case any of you should follow Serrano on Facebook or Twitter, because he is buffing up every week. He's just getting more and more buff, which I think is great. And you're doing it right, Serrano, because if you start young, I believe you stay with it. I've been doing exercise now for 40 years. It'll be 41 years next spring. And I started at 36. So you starting as young as you are, I think is a very good thing. So more power to you, brother. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to, let me show you my screen for this story. What I labeled this story was speculation and daydreaming, Pixel Fold. So that's what I think this is. This is pure speculation, and it's certainly daydreaming for all of us. But since we have a story on a Pixel Fold, I thought I'd share it. Whether or not it ever comes to fruition, who knows? But this was on laptopmag.com. And this was by Dara Murphy. So I love the way, I guess it's a he, I'm not sure. It says, Google Pixel Fold, price, release date, features, and more. And of course, nobody's sure if it even exists, but it's cool. Google's Pixel Fold is set to take on the foldable smartphone market. And this was 4 days ago, which would have made it Monday. So reading the story, I think some of it was written before the, or if not all of it, before the Pixel 6 was out, or at least was presented. Anyway, the rumored Pixel Fold will be Google's first attempt, and where's that picture? There's a picture down here somewhere. We'll run into it. The rumored Pixel Fold will be Google's first attempt at entering the foldable smartphone market, going head-to-head with well-established foldable giants like Samsung Z Fold. While all eyes are on Google's next flagship phone, the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, a number of leaks indicate the first foldable Pixel will have plenty to show off too. So yeah, I think this was the day before the Pixel event. Google's main competition will no doubt be Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 3, which has now been unveiled after Samsung's August Unpacked event, along with the Galaxy Flip 3. Keep in mind, however, that we wouldn't be getting a Pixel Fold or any of its leaks without Samsung Display developing a major component of the phone. Yeah, they keep getting closer and closer, Samsung and Google. According to sources, speaking to 9 to 5 Google, there is a second foldable Pixel phone in the works named Jumbo Jack. The foldable is expected to be an internal testing device featuring 2 displays that act like the Samsung Galaxy Fold. For now, the Pixel Fold is still the foremost anticipated device. Foldable phones may be in a tragic state at the moment. I don't think they're in a tragic state. But the Pixel Fold, along with the upcoming foldables from Samsung, aims to shift the dynamic and bring about the era of foldable smartphones. I think Samsung's already done that. Samsung may have laid the foundation in 2019, but Google could bring folding phones to the mainstream. I think Samsung's done that too. The Pixel Fold, or whatever it may be called, has yet to be officially announced, but we already know a thing or two about its price, release date, design, and more. I don't think we know. I think we're guessing. With this being Google's first Pixel phone with an entirely different form factor, it's difficult to pinpoint when the Pixel Fold will be revealed. That said, a report from the Elec from earlier this year suggested the Fold will arrive by the end of 2021 or early 2022. Google's Pixel 4 launch, which we just had, has come and gone, okay. However, which means the Pixel Fold launch is leaning more towards 2022. Earlier this year, tipster Yogesh Brar claimed that the launch of the Pixel Fold had been delayed. While this suggests that an early 2022 projection is more likely, Senior Director of Display Supply Chain Consultants David Naranjo states otherwise. And yet he had a tweet about it here. According to the Display Industry Insider, the launch date of the Pixel 6 Pro and Pixel Fold fall in the same time period, but that would mean it would have to be awfully soon, the fourth quarter of 2021, which is where we are. This means Google's foldable phone could arrive sometime between October and December in its surprise launch. Previous reports are leaning away from a 2022 launch date. Samsung Display will reportedly start production of its foldable OLED panels this October, while Display Insider Ross Young leaked the Pixel Fold will be among the 2021 foldable launches. This means the Fold could coincide with the launch of the Pixel 6. Well, we know that didn't happen. So there's some pictures. Get out of the way. Okay, let's get that out of the way. There's some of the pictures and something else to get us all excited, including me. With the Google Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro having a launch date set, well, we've passed that, it looks like the Pixel Fold won't be announced until 2022. That said, Google may have an extra surprise before 2021. So he keeps going back and forth on this. Not much is known about how much the Pixel Fold will set customers back, but if previous Pixel phones are anything to go by, Google may be offering a more affordable alternative to the $1,700 to $1,800 price point of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. I think he means 3, but okay. After the success of the Pixel 4a and Pixel 4a 5G priced from just $499, along with the Pixel 5's price drop to $699, and now with the nice price drop on the new ones, Google hit the mark for mid-tier smartphones bringing flagship capabilities. What's more, Google CEO Sundar Pichai stated that Google has definitely shown that the Pixel 4a, Pixel 5 are a clear value proposition. We'll build on that. Well, I think you already have. In order to beat any potential competition from other foldables hitting the market in 2021, Google will likely need to stick with its plan to keep costs down with its Pixel phone lineup. While it definitely won't be as low as the Pixel 4a 5G, we can see the Fold being slightly pricier than the expected retail price for the Pixel 6, around $800 to $900 range, to the $1,000 range. Could the Pixel Fold be a sub-$1,000 foldable? I doubt that, but it sure would be great. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So far, the Pixel Fold has yet to reveal itself. While there have been no sneak peeks of its form factor or how it may look, designer Wanga Khan created design renders based on the leaks that have surfaced. So I'm not going to play the video. According to reports from the Elec, the Pixel Fold is expected to have a 7.6-inch in-folding display panel with a form factor along the lines of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold. It's expected to boast a display on the front along with an inner folding display. Let's see, there's other pictures up here. Yeah, display on the front. Okay. The renders show off a near exact design to the Pixel 5, although with an extra foldable screen. We were fans of the look and feel of the Pixel 5 with its compact footprint and thin curved edges. We'd be happy to see the Pixel Fold take some design clues, especially if the Fold doubles its width. Well, now you would think it'd take its clues from the Pixel 6. This will be Google's first whack at a foldable, so its design may come with a few issues, though we hope the tech giant took lessons from Samsung's early attempts. I hope so. The majority of Pixel Fold rumors had a focus on its display, and it's looking to impress. According to display panel insiders Ross Young and David Naranjo, all foldables set to arrive in 2021 with panels from Samsung Display will be equipped with a 120 Hz LTPO display, which is something we're more than excited to hear. This includes the Pixel Fold, along with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Z Fold 3. Thanks to Samsung Display, the Pixel Fold is expected to have a 7.6-inch in-folding display panel. He already told us that. This makes it smaller than other displays Samsung Display is apparently developing. Reports indicate Vivo's model will have an 8-inch main screen and a 6.5-inch outer screen, while Xiaomi's foldable may also be equipped with an 8-inch panel size along with a 6.4-inch outer screen, so it is smaller than those. Foldables are known to be equipped with high-end specs, seeing as Qualcomm unveiled its Snapdragon 888 Plus 5G for flagship smartphones launching toward the end of 2021. Google could pack its Pixel Fold with the chip maker's latest chip. While the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro announcement, however, we know that the foldable Pixel is likely to be powered by a Tensor chip. I would hope so. Previous rumors of Google making its own chip for Pixel displays, codenamed Whitechapel, came to be true. Google Tensor is Google's first ever in-house silicon for phones, bringing enhanced speech recognition capability, boy, didn't they, for better performance from Google Assistant and more features to be powered by AI and machine learning. Tensor enables us to make the Google phones we've always envisioned. That's what they said in the presentation. Phones that keep getting better while tapping the most powerful parts of Google, all in a highly personalized experience. And with Tensor's new security core and Titan M2, Pixel 6 will have the most layers of hardware security in any phone, Google wrote in a blog post. Cameras on Pixel devices will also be getting an upgrade thanks to the Tensor chip, as the improved AI is said to offer clearer DSLR-like photos. With faster performance, Pixel phones are also expected to gain a boost in battery life. Yeah, and we're all excited to see the video on the Pixel 6. Recently, Modern CS Track 27 found 3 code names relating to Google's upcoming Pixel devices that could sport the same modem. In the tweet, it lists Oriole, Raven, and Passport, which were code names for the Pixel 6, Pixel 6 Pro, and Pixel Fold, respectively. So I would think that would have to be Passport then. The G5123B code name is expected to be a Samsung 5G modem, with the Passport code name being mentioned along with the code names for the next Pixel smartphones. That's a good sign that Pixel Fold is getting identical technology. With the new while the new chip will be used in the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, if the Pixel Fold launches alongside Google flagship phones, well, it didn't, or follows closely behind, there's reason to believe all Pixel phones will boast the same chip, or at least something similar, I would think. Qualcomm's new Snapdragon is another contender. The new smartphone chip's 6th generation Qualcomm AI engine will offer a 20% improvement over the last chip with up to 32 trillion operations per second. Boy, that's a lot. AI performance and 5G download speeds up to 7.5 Gbps. This is quite the improvement from a flagship chip that came out in December. All that being said, Qualcomm didn't mention Google being part of the brands that will use the upgraded chip. I'm suspecting that Google's going to stick with their Tensor, if any of this is true at all. There's still a lot to learn about Google's first foldable phone, but there's more than enough reason to think a Pixel Fold is on its way, and soon. With a 7.6-inch 120 Hz LTPO in-folding display panel apparently in the works, and the potential for Google to offer an affordable foldable opposed to Samsung's pricey Galaxy Z Fold. The Pixel Fold could easily kick off the year of the foldables if it arrives later in 2021. While we wait for the potential end of 2021 release date, check out everything we know about Google's official smartphone, Pixel 6. Well, we've already seen the Pixel 6. So I just thought that was a cool story that we can all mull over and dream about and see what happens. So, oh, thank you so very much, Vince. You know I don't remember seeing you before because I'm an old man, but thank you very much. Very, very happy. Coming from Europe somewhere, I would suspect. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see if we have any more comments here. Yeah, Ren's is saying what I'm saying. Pixel Fold, please. I'm with you there, Ren's, all the way. And Gary says the Pixel Fold is a myth, which it could be, Gary. You know, it's could be like the Pixel Watch. Who knows? Ren says Samsung Fold plus Google software equal Pixel Fold. Yeah, Sammy Fold plus Google software equal Pixel Fold. Yeah, we can hope. Gary, it's Google. If it was real and finished, we would have seen it. I kind of think that's true because Google is not great at keeping secrets. So, yeah, and Renz agrees. Let's see. We just have to wait and see. Maybe a few months or years, Google will release it. Yeah, they'll probably release it with the Pixel Watch. Is my guess. Anyway, it's nice for us to be able to dream about these things. And we do have our foldables anyway, so very happy about that. I love doing that. As Flossie said, I would. All right, moving on. So we've all had our daydream for tonight. Now, more speculation. I just thought it was cool considering what Apple has achieved with the M1. So this was on Digital Trends. Microsoft might be building its own version of the Apple M1 chip for Surface. This was written by Jacob Roach. Microsoft could be taking a cue from Apple. A recent job listing via Hot Hardware from Microsoft's Surface division calls for a system-on-a-chip architect, suggesting that Microsoft might be interested in developing its own M1 competitor for future Surface devices. A job listing doesn't confirm anything. It only vaguely hints at what Microsoft could be doing. So it shouldn't be assumed that Microsoft is building an M1 competitor. It makes sense, though, considering Apple is expected to launch its M1 10 chip next week, bolstering its advantage against the Intel competition. When was this written? Yeah, this was written last week, so that makes sense. The most recent Surface devices, like the Surface Laptop Studio, use Intel chips, continuing the decades-long partnership with Microsoft and Intel have maintained. Apple transitioned away from the Intel with the launch of its M1 SoC, which manages to stay cooler and quieter while offering similar levels of performance. I thought it was better. Outside of vertically integrating the hardware, going with an in-house SoC has some advantages. Microsoft would be free to choose the design that best fits its devices instead of a slot-in design from Intel, which could make for a more efficient SoC overall. Yeah, Apple proved that. The M1 is a great example of this. It's powerful in the right areas, but Apple nixed features like support for several external displays to keep the design focused in a clear direction. That makes sense. It's no secret that Apple is leading the way with SoC design. Intel is taking some notes with its Alder Lake processors, which utilize a hybrid architecture similar to the M1. Even if we never see a Surface device with Microsoft-developed silicon, it makes sense for Microsoft to explore the possibility. Although the Surface Laptop 4 featured an AMD processor, Microsoft has mostly stuck with Intel for its Surface range and never has a Surface device featured silicon developed by Microsoft. The job listing points to someone who can define the features and capabilities of SoC used on Surface devices, which is a hint that Microsoft is interested in at least a semi-customized design. That's not new from Microsoft. The Xbox Series 10 features a semi-custom SoC from AMD, and Microsoft just posted a job calling for an SoC silicon architect for its Xbox and Azure divisions. We won't know more for at least a year, though. Microsoft just released a new generation of Surface devices, and although Microsoft could be developing its own SoC, it might end up sticking with Intel or AMD for the next generation. Still, it makes sense for Microsoft to take this step. Even Intel has said that it sees Apple as its main competitor going forward. We can only assume Microsoft is eyeing something similar. I think that would be very cool if they made it as good as the M1 chip. Anyway, just another interesting story. So let's see what comments say. Brian says, I'd like to see the quality control on the 6 series before going with a Pixel Foldable. Yeah, that makes very good sense, Brian. I think we probably should all take a good look at that. And timing-wise, assuming it's not out till December, if it comes at all, at least we'd have a pretty good idea. So I think that's very sensible. And as Ren said, thanks, Vince, for the super chat and supporting the stream. Very, very pleased about that. Thank you once again, sir. Okay. One more story. I just thought this was, I've been kind of predicting this all along, and I think people thought I was crazy. But this is again on digital trends. T-Mobile takes big 5G coverage and speed wins in new report. And the reason that I've been saying is because T-Mobile started with the sub-6, and then they did the merge with Sprint. And the only reason they did that, I'm pretty sure, was because they wanted that mid-range. So they had the sub-6 and the mid-range, while Verizon had the millimeter wave, but millimeter wave doesn't go very far. So I thought all along that T-Mobile would, for now, win this battle. So this kind of backs it up. This was by Thomas Hindmarch. And this is, again, a story from last week. I just never got a chance to bring it up before. T-Mobile has taken a victory lap today after a new report by the independent analytics company OpenSignal. I think probably a lot of us know OpenSignal. Found T-Mobile won out in several key 5G categories against its competitors, AT&T and Verizon. T-Mobile came in first with a comparative write-up that measured the 3 leading cellular companies' 5G availability, reach, download speed, and upload speeds in the United States. Verizon beat T-Mobile out on the 5G video, voice app, and games experience. AT was shut out entirely and went home with a nice, shiny I tried gold star. Virtually every network report from third-party experts this year shows the same thing. T-Mobile delivers unmatched, this is from them, of course, 5G coverage and blazing 5G speeds that just keeps getting faster, said Neville Ray, president of technology at T-Mobile. Pardon me. Today, we provide 5G speeds and coverage the carriers can't match. And as we deploy even more ultra-capacity 5G across the country, I never heard that term before, we'll continue to pull even farther away from the pack on performance. As per OpenSignal's October 2021 report, T-Mobile users saw an average 5G download speed of 118.7 megabits per second, which was more than twice as fast as AT&T or Verizon. This marks a 35.6% increase over the numbers OpenSignal was using in its July 2020 run. It's a whole lot faster. T-Mobile's lead was less impressive on 5G upload speeds. which hit 16.1 megabits per second compared to Verizon's 14.4 and AT&T's 9.7. Still, they were faster, so I guess that counts. Wait a minute, I gotta adjust my earbuds. However, T-Mobile also widened its margin of victory on the 5G availability and reach categories, which found that T-Mobile users spent over a third of their time, 34.7%, with an active 5G connection in play, as opposed to AT&T users 16.4 and Verizon's 9.7. And I have to tell you, on all five of the phones that I have 5G on, in the Chattanooga area and last year in Miami, my 5G is almost always there. So yeah, I guess it was sub 6 in mid-range, but it's almost, when I look at it, it's almost always is 5G. So T-Mobile's 5G reach, as represented by the proportion of locations visited by a user that had a 5G signal, hit 7.2 on a 10-point scale, well ahead of AT&T's 4.9. Essentially, the big takeaway from the Open Signal October report is that T-Mobile's investments in coverage have led to it sweeping the board on simple availability and reach. Yeah, not speed, of course, because Verizon's going to win that, but reach is what counts, I think. As the overall mobile business continues its switch over to 5G, Verizon does dominate video streaming and mobile gaming, however, while AT&T lurks in the margins in every category. AT&T's telecommunication got its head comfortably handed to it in the Open Signal July report as well. The company is still in the game, but a lot is going to depend on how AT&T looks once it finishes spinning its entertainment holdings off into their own company. Right now, the picture Open Signal is painting is one in which AT&T could charitably be accused of doing the bare minimum to prepare for 5G rollout, which is still fairly inconsistent across the U.S. So good for T-Mobile. Just thought that was cool. And of course, yes, I'm a T-Mobile, and that's all I do use. So, and I love my T-Mobile. Let's see. Okay, nothing new in the comments. And I have one more story. And this was just a quick blurb that I just thought was kind of cool. So this was on Sam Mobile, and it's interesting. And I said earlier that Google and Samsung seem to keep getting closer. How's this for getting close? Google launches dedicated website for Samsung's new foldable phones. I'll show you that when we get to that link. Google and Samsung seem to have formed a tighter partnership than before. The two companies work together on developing the latest version of Wear OS for smartwatches, and more recently, Google took it upon itself to promote the latest Samsung foldable phones. Earlier this month, Google posted a trio of ads for the Z Fold 3 and Galaxy Z Flip 3 on its official YouTube channel. Mind you, these weren't Samsung ads hosted on the Google channel, but actual Google ads featuring the Google logo in a style along with Samsung's new flagship phones. Yeah, that's a pretty close relationship. The story didn't end there. This week, Google posted another Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Z Flip ad on its YouTube channel, seen below. It also went ahead and launched a dedicated web page for these devices. So Google has a dedicated web page for Samsung foldables. Welcome to Unfold with Google. Google published a dedicated website for the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Galaxy Z Flip 3 at unfoldwithgoogle.com. Here, when I click on it, there's the page. And yes, you can actually buy the Samsung phones on this Google page. So I think that's pretty cool. I always like their animations. It's so cool. Anyway, so yeah, that's a real link, folks, and that's a Google. I tried going to the Samsung store website, but it doesn't show up there. But if you even if you just type in Unfold with Google, you can get straight to this page. So you can now buy a phone on Samsung's site or Google's site. So kind of cool. The page doesn't contain anything but details on these two new foldable phones and the Google services they offer. Visitors who may want to buy one of Samsung's new foldable phones can use to do so online from Samsung, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Google Fi. Although Google doesn't have a foldable device of its own, at least not yet, the company is reportedly developing its first phone of this type with assistance from Samsung. They seem to be doing everything with assistance from Samsung here lately, which I guess is good because everything is coming out nice. The Unfold with Google landing page may eventually serve as a launchpad for more Android foldable phone models, including future ones from Google, but time will tell. Until then, you can check the latest Google ad for Samsung foldables below. So I just thought it's caught. Yes, they have really, really gotten close. And it seems that partnership seems to be working well. Oh, Brian, thank you so much. As always, brother. Very much appreciated. And Ms. Lee thought it is interesting that they're working this closely together. It seems like they're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So I think it's very cool. So anything else you guys want to bring up? Now is the time. At least I went past last week. Last week I was done, 25 minutes before this. And just for the heck of it, in case Ted is watching, let me go over here and show you glowing rectangles. And for anybody who doesn't know, glowing rectangles is a place. Let me bring up the share. Okay. It's on Reddit. It's reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. It was started by some gadget guy, Juan Bagnell, and he wanted a place where anybody could post either a video or a blog, and anybody can post there, and that you want to, maybe give a smaller YouTuber or a smaller blogger some attention, you post it here. And when you click top, it shows you, you upvote and downvote. I think it's mostly upvote. What you think is the best story. So you just arrow up any story you particularly like. And when you click on that top, well, the winner for today so far is Google Pixel 6 Pro Sorta Sunny Unboxing. Whose is that? By Tech King Mike. Okay. So again, part of the Pixel team. Why do I keep wanting to call it Pixel team? So anyway, Tech King Mike, he deserves that. Let's give him another one up. And the second one is always an ad. And then the next most voted on one was by Tech Valor, and she always does great stuff too. Unboxing installation of the LK screen protector and camera protector for the Google Pixel 6 Pro. So she's on Team Pixel too. That's what it is, Team Pixel. Maybe someday I'll be on Team Pixel. Who knows? Android 12 top new features. Let's see who posted that. But anyway, you get the idea. So you can put any video or a blog that you've made or anybody else that made. You just take the blog, stick it in here, post it. If people like it, you'll see upvotes on it. So it's just a place for people to get a little more exposure, and Juan is always helpful in that way. So we show that every single week. Oh, Renz, as always, thank you so much, sir. Renz, you and Brian are so faithful, and Brian is saying something nice. I hope so too, Brian. But until then, I did get into Pixel Superfans, and I did get to watch an event with Joshua Vergara the other night that was just for us superfans. So step in the right direction. So I think that's it for tonight, folks. I thought I came up with some interesting stories, maybe some stories you hadn't heard yet, especially that Google and Samsung partnership just getting closer and closer and closer. So I hope everybody has a very blessed and great weekend. of course, we seem to be into the fall weather now. We're, at least down here in Tennessee, we're cooling off a little bit every day. 'Cause 2 weeks ago, we were in high 80s for the highs. Now we're in the 60s or low 70s for the highs, and in the 40s in the morning. So I know where Miss E is highs for the 40s and 50s. And at least the weather changes. And of course, I guess she can see great leaf changing down here in Tennessee. Yeah, not so great. No. Thanks, Miss E. Very much appreciated. All right, guys. So I will see you next week. And Brian is also wishing everyone a great weekend. And yeah, Gary, let us know. And we'll see you all next week. Have a blessed weekend. And we'll be back next week with Friday Night Tech Talk. So here comes the pregnant pause.